Hand to the brake, but I think we just need to look at that and try and evaluate what's happened. Barcelona's so poor, so poor. I mean, it's a bit unfair perhaps to pick out one player, but we've picked him out so many times. Yeah. But have you ever seen Messi so poor in a match like that? He always does two or three things. There's virtually nothing.
So many times we've sat here and gone, Messi's done nothing. Then all of a sudden, bang, he comes up with some piece of magic and changes the game, or gives Barca a lifeline. Today, there was no fight in him. He lost the ball various times throughout the game. Didn't run back. Normally you see there's a bit of fight, a bit of spunk in him, but today it just wasn't the case. Neymar was the only person probably to come out of this game for the Barcelona team without the possibility of giving him heavy criticism. Yeah. But these things happen. But sometimes you can fall on a day when you don't do it. You've got 7 or 8 below par. But also on the same day, this PSG team were magnificent, and you've got to give them the full credit. I think
they deserve a lot of credit. PSG. I mean, it was an exhilarating performance from them.
I think the manager got the tactics and the game plan spot on, to press Barcelona high. He obviously picked out their weaknesses at right back and, the inexperience of the centre-back as well. And they exploited Barcelona's weaknesses all night long, and it could have been 6 or 7. I'm
just relieved I didn't pick Barcelona to win the Champions League, unlike you three.
It's not over yet.
Glenn?
Yeah, what do we know? No, I mean, it's Paris were fantastic on the night, but you can't. We'll analyse the goals in a minute, and when you see the space that's given for 2 of the goals, where they just run, well, 3 of them actually, where they just run unopposed in that midfield area, that's where Paris totally dominated that central part of the midfield.
May as well ask all 3 of you, who do you fancy if you had to tip someone to win it at this particular stage?
Go Barcelona.
The look of Barcelona, I really do. Everyone might say that, but I think offensively.
I agree. I think Barcelona, I think that front 3 are just irresistible.
Sorry, chaps, couldn't resist dragging that one up from earlier on. And in your defence, they ain't a bad side normally, and they obviously clearly had a bad night. But I watch Barcelona almost every weekend, and there have been a lot of signs this season, in many ways, that they're not quite as strong as they've been in previous seasons.
Yeah, I think what they have lacked is that consistency. Normally you just see them churn out performance after performance, result after result. And this season it's been a bit sporadic. I mean, the front 3 have still produced some unreal moments. But in terms of being a team that do it every week, it's probably not been as consistent and as free-flowing as normal. But when you've got that front 3, it's hard to bet against that. And I mean, that's why I think us 3 were so convinced before the game, probably like most people at home, that this team are the team to beat.
I can't remember which one of you said, we'd all probably agree with it, but it's seldom that there's always one of the 3 will get you at some point. But, I mean, I suppose the only one that was even close to any sort of a game was Neymar.
Neymar was probably the better player out of the 3, yeah, but you've got to say he had no end product, did he? There was no sort of chances he created.
But it wasn't just about them, it was about the whole PSG performance as well. They scored the goals and
you can't allow that space, Gary. Look, you can't allow that space to come out on the ball when the edge of your box turn. You're in the opponent's half, unopposed. Nobody's pressed the ball. Nobody's got the head down. And Dracula makes a really good, clever little run from the width coming inside, and he gets brought down right on the edge of the box. And dangerous position for him.
Cracking free kick, but there's a bit of a gap in the wall. They forced, Steve.
I think they summed the performance up all night, where lack of focus, not set up right defensively, and he's found a gap in the wall. Credit to the free kick taker Di Maria, but I think they'll be very disappointed with themselves defensively for that free kick.
And it was just the same, 2-0 at half-time. They came out in the second half.
I think this goal sums up the game for him. Bullied in midfield all night, then on the counter-attack, punished. And we mentioned that before the game, that's a way of breaking this team down, and they've done it to a T. I think in Rabiot, Verratti, they were tremendous, along with Matuidi, and they absolutely overpowered, overrun and outfought the midfield of Barca. But 2 fullbacks, when you lose the ball there and the 2 fullbacks are that high with no protection on the back 4, it's hard. And Titi maybe should take a step back, and his naivety and his youthfulness, maybe experience in time, he'll learn that. But it's a devastating counter-attack.
It's a clinical finish as well. I mean, you play against Barca and create them chances, but if you're clinical on the night, other nights you might not be, and you get punished. But they were clinical all night long.
He got it right.
Absolutely spot on, hasn't he? He's very good in European football, of course.
But this is like a Barcelona goal, straight from the goalkeeper. Great touch here. opens the game up, and we'll see it in a minute, the space that they run into. Time and time again they've done this, ran straight at the heart of the Barcelona defence. But it's just great, it's great football.
Just the composure and the curled finish was the icing on the cake for the move. But I mean, you know, these PSG players, yeah, they've all played well all over the park, they've all shone tonight, but they haven't even had to work hard tonight. They've had 2-3 seconds on the ball all night long. Barca haven't got close to them all night. They haven't worked hard, no tackles. There's big gaps, big spaces in the middle of the pitch, and you know, at this level, top teams and top players will punish you.
It's a bit like the first goal and the fourth goal. They've got space to run, midfield players to run. There's an overlap on the right back's coming. That's why they can't get pressure on the ball, but it is a great finish. The lovely bit of skill. He's just sent it outside the keeper and back inside the post. Beautiful.
Emery cheering again. There was more for him to enjoy just a few minutes later when Cavani, on his birthday, the same as Di Maria, a year older, but
that's the right back. The right back running at the heart of the defence again from the right back area. It's a great finish. He was desperate. You could see his reaction at the end of the goal. But for the right back to come from where he has done, to break into the heart of the defence of the Barcelona team, tells you, look at the midfielders, two of them, too high up, both taken out of the game from one bit of skill. Iniesta and Busquets.
There's no recovery runs, they're jogging back. It's as if this game doesn't matter, and even Piqué is 2 yards off the striker, and you know, a player of Cavani's class, you can't give him that time.
His first goal finally against Barcelona, he's managed to get on the score sheet, and you could see in his face he'd enjoy it, yeah. He's
but he looks like someone who's happy. He's happy with himself. His goals told you that.
Well, PSG looked the real deal, genuine contenders, perhaps for the first time.
But for his goal there, he's in the central position, and the guy's got so much time on the ball, playing with his head up. He could time his run to perfection, and he did. And then again, he was clinical again. So
I think this makes PSG a threat, because mentally now they'll go on again, and they'll believe now that they're capable of winning this tournament through beating one of the best teams in the tournament.
That's why it's probably the first time they've actually beaten one of the real giants. I mean, they've had success against very good sides, but you know, the Barca's the Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's been a sticking point for them the whole time, and they've always probably looked at that and thought we need an easier draw. Now they've got through one. They'll have the confidence to go again.
Well, extraordinary night. So often we've sat here, haven't we, after Barcelona games, and we've been mesmerised by wonderful skills from Messi. I think this is the first time we're going to look at a Messi performance that had absolutely nothing positive to say about it. Which in itself is extraordinary, unless he's always been overrated.
He's a flash in the pan. I mean, this will be a first and probably the last time we kind of do this about Messi. I mean, listen, he's a fantastic footballer. It's not happening for you.
He's a human being.
Exactly. This means he's exactly human. But I mean, his reaction there was poor, and they get punished, which highlights it even more. But all night he was sloppy. He looked a bit dejected. He looked a bit bereft of ideas of what to do. And he just was popping up in positions that you don't normally see him and losing the ball. And it's just so indifferent from him. But he's human.
Yeah, well, we're not seeing it that often. But yes.
He wasn't alone.
Yeah.
No. There was many more Barcelona players that struggled all night and showed zero effort. Especially when they lose the ball, you can tell by a team and an individual's reaction, but there was just no reaction all night from any of them.
And it's interesting, it wasn't just one of them always, there's always a couple of them around him. You know what I mean? It seemed like it was a real theme among the night.
A touch in the penalty area for Leo Messi. I mean, obviously he's normally very creative. We didn't really see much of your old sparring partner as well, Luis Suarez, who's unbelievably quiet for him.
Well, I think they all were. I think there's only probably Neymar who put in any kind of Barcelona-like performance. You know, we've known Barcelona to have quality on the ball over the years, but they've also been so impressive with the reaction. When they lose the ball, they all press, they hunt in packs, and they win the ball high up. But there was none of that tonight. When they didn't have the ball, they were just passive all night.
Has that hunger perhaps gone a little bit? Do you think they've struggled a little bit this season, or is it just an off night?
It looked it tonight. You've got to say the hunger there and the professionalism of going out there in a big game, Champions League game, away from home as well. You've got to expect Paris to come at you. You know, tactically they look really poor. They looked as if they let those front three, they'll win us the game. Because they do every week. Well, sorry, at this level, that's not good enough. Any team can play against Barcelona if they defend like that.
Yeah. What about the PSG approach? The pressing was terrific right from the start, wasn't it?
I think that's what set the tone for this game. They set their stall out to go out and really put this Barca team under pressure. We mentioned it before the game. Man City done this and got rewards. And this PSG team looked like they took note of that performance and idea and really put them under pressure. making the keeper kick balls that were kind of percentage balls out, winning the ball, then on the attack here. Look at the bodies 4. That takes nerve. That takes a positivity, an idea in training and work to go and do this, and the confidence to go and do it then and execute is a difference. Look at them, 4 up again against that defence, saying, "Go on, you play and you take your chances, but we will get you and punish you at some point," and they did.
But the key to pressing like that and being so good is they're pressing when your opponents are receiving the ball. They're arriving just as they're receiving the ball. Barca, on the other side of the coin, were pressing far too late. You know, Paris players, this is great defending from the young kid. He was brilliant tonight.
Yeah, wasn't he? We talked about him before the game. It's his first ever Champions League start.
Absolutely fantastic. He looks a real prospect, him. He really does. But Barca, you know, the difference was they're already turned round and they're playing round you. Whereas the Paris press was, as you're arriving, as the ball's coming to their feet, they're right under pressure. They were brilliant at that tonight.
They were brilliant all over the pitch. I mean, it's important for us to give them the credit they deserve.
I think they've improved. I think they've improved in the full-back areas. I think performances in the Champions League elevate players, and I think Rabiot tonight put in a world-class performance, especially up against Busquets and Iniesta. I think they were second best all night. And I think PSG are very close to the finished article now. I think they could go close.
It's all over, isn't it? It's all over.
I think so. I think another big thing.
We'll be coming back to you.
I'm asking the questions. That's my job.
You imagine the Nou Camp 1-0 up after 2 minutes and those 3 on fire.
Yeah, it's possible.
You never say it's over.
I love the way you're selling it for us already for the second leg.